In the ancient world, while other libraries came to exist in Greece and the ancient Near East, for example, the Great Library of Alexandria in Egypt was one of the largest and most significant. The Library at Alexandria was established under the reign of Ptolemy Philadelphus, who happened to be the son of Cleopatra circa 350 BCE. He was, of course, the original Phillies fan, or perhaps the original Phillies fanatic. Okay, the library is estimated at its height to have housed as many as 400,000 papyrus scrolls. The goal was to produce a repository of all knowledge. Within the next 500 years or so, and through cultural, political, and religious strife, the entire library was completely destroyed by around 272 ACE. What knowledge was abandoned or lost from that library? How many years could it have taken to regain the momentum of progress the library might have afforded? Could it have changed the progression of history in any significant way? Recently, someone said that every time you lose a legend, you lose a library of knowledge and history. Because of the pandemic, over just the past year, we have lost so many of our loved ones, family, friends, fellow citizens, but also way too many of our heroes in the jazz world. Many of them our own close friends and colleagues, some of whom we have presented at our own Jazz Arts Project events in the past, and so many others that we only know from their music. As it happens, more than 100 years ago, another deadly virus struck the jazz community: the 1918 influenza pandemic. It tore through the United States, and cities like New Orleans bore the brunt of the numbers of cases and deaths. By some miracle, a particular 17-year-old young man survived, by the name of Louis Armstrong, a young man who would become one of the most legendary musicians in the world and one of the most influential jazz musicians of all time. Armstrong wrote about the story in his autobiography, Satchmo, My Life in New Orleans. He writes about the impact the Spanish flu had on his hometown in 1918 to 1919. There was a very serious sickness spreading around New Orleans called the flu. Everybody was down with it, everybody except me. He went on to write, anyway, just when the government was about to let the crowds congregate again, which would have given us a chance to play our horns again, they clamped down tighter than ever before. With everyone around me suffering with the flu, I had to work, and also I had to play doctor to everyone in my family and the friends of my neighborhood, which, if I have to say it myself, I did a good job in curing them. Louis Armstrong went on to become the anchor for all jazz to follow. He accomplished the triple feat of becoming the biggest jazz star of the era, the most brilliant trumpeter the art form had yet known, and the architect of solos so profound and ingeniously constructed that they're studied and analyzed and absorbed to this day. His importance to jazz, whether through his solos, his singing, or his ability to win over listeners, cannot be measured. The history of jazz, American music, and music in general would be much different if he had not survived. Many musicians have used this following phrase before to honor Armstrong's integral importance to the music, and it's true. No Louis, no Roy Eldridge, no Dizzy Gillespie, no Miles Davis. This makes me wonder, within these current pandemic years, how many geniuses and visionaries have we lost, or who among them could have made a similar and profound difference in the history of music? So today, in the next few minutes, I just want to honor those jazz icons we lost this past year. This list is no doubt incomplete. There may be some that I have overlooked or didn't know about, but it certainly wasn't intentional. All I know is that the great big band in the sky is getting way too big, way too soon. I've listed the names in alphabetical order, and while we pay tribute, we listen to Duke Ellington's Come Sunday, played by one of today's masters of the art form, alto saxophonist Bruce Williams.